Good morning. This is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market for the morning of Monday, the 28th of October. My disclaimer: I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. Right. Okay, let's have a look at ES first. Now, we haven't seen a great deal overnight. We saw a bit of a retrace on Friday. Not really. We're really almost moving sideways at the moment. We're back. We're over the weekly pivot at 58.54, and at the moment there's no negative divergence. Looking at NQ, NQ. This is something I was looking at, and much of last week I was saying that this looked like a bull flag forming. That bull flag actually broke up and made the target at a retest of the high. That means we've got a potential double top here, which means that we do actually now have a potential topping pattern on in NQ. That doesn't mean it's going to break down, but it's something obviously I'm keeping an eye on. Looking at RTY, this looks like a little bear flag forming from the low. This has been very weak, not quite as weak as YM has been, but this looks like a nice little bear flag from the low, setting up a possible retest of this low here, just over, in the 22.05 area. Looking at YM, this was the weakest last week. And the 60-minute buy signal just about survived this move down, but not by an awful lot. What I would say is if we go a little lower, we will get to a potentially important area, which is this head and shoulder neckline. Which I've got. I'm not expecting this to play out, but obviously things would start to get interesting if it actually found support there. I've got that in the 42.088 area. If we get down to there and start a potential right shoulder, that could set up a large reversal pattern here, which would be interesting because we've already got a potential double top on RTY, and we have a potential smaller double top on NQ. That wouldn't leave us with a potential larger pattern on ES, but we could get that with a retest of this high and a fail. So it's worth keeping an eye on, and I'll be watching it. All right, looking at the DAX chart, the week 60-minute buy signal reached the possible near miss target, so I've written that off at the moment. This looks like an overall bull flag forming. We do have a decent looking double top here, which is broken down with targets in the 19 to 60 to 90 area, but at the moment there's no sign of that playing out. All right, ESTX, this is just trending sideways, could be an overall bull flag forming. All right, let's have a look at those on the bigger picture charts. Okay, on SPY, looks like bull flag forming, looks very much the same on SPX, although I've drawn in a potential flag here, and we could see a test of the rising support trend line currently in about the 57.60 area. If we were to make this trend line, I am wondering if this is a bull flag, whether that would be the next obvious target. No divergence on the 15-minute, no divergence on the 60-minute. But I am wondering whether we're going to need a retest of this rising support trend line, and there is a case for seeing that today or tomorrow. In terms of the bigger picture, we've still got an open weak RSI 5 sell signal fixed on SPX, and we're still holding the daily middle band, which I've got at 57.90. But I would note that on ES, that RSI 5 sell signal has now reached the possible near miss target. All right, looking at the Qs. No current divergence on the daily chart. Again, we're pretty much holding on, more messy than on the SPX chart, but we're still holding to the daily middle band, and we just, on this retest of this high, we went back up and touched the daily upper band. On the hourly chart, no current negative divergence. On the 15-minute chart, nothing either. But obviously we had this flag, we broke up from it, we have retested that high, and we have a potential double top here, which if it broke down below 485.05 would have a target in about the 469.5 to 471 area. All right, looking at Dow. No current divergence. This has been This was the weakest last week, and has spent the last 3 days below the daily middle band. If we are bottoming out here, I'd expect to see a break back up, and I've got that at 425.49. On the hourly chart, we've got a possible RSI 14 buy signal brewing, and on the 15-minute chart, no current divergence, but we're getting very close to a possible test of the rising support trend line, which I've got at 419. All right, let's have a look at IWM. IWM, we've got 15-minute chart, no current divergence. No obvious pattern here that is forming. This could be a bear flag setting up a retest of this low here at 217.37. And obviously, we've got a potential larger double top support in the 214.6 area. No divergence on the hourly chart. On the daily chart, again, we've been back below the daily middle band for 3 days. So we've got a mixed field here. At the moment, SPX and NDX are holding the daily middle band, but obviously those have been lost for 3 days on IWM and Dow. So we've got a mixed picture in terms of overall bullishness, and I think if we're going to see more downside, we need to see some more evidence. Really, some weakness on SPX and NDX, possible forming of larger pattern on SPX. So we shall see. All right, great. Let's have a look at DAX then. Nikkei quickly. DAX. We've got a holding the daily middle band at the moment. No obvious larger reversal pattern here at the moment. Nikkei has been pretty weak and has actually went below the daily middle band briefly on Friday. Well below the daily middle band here. Not really expecting to see a lot. This could be an overall bull flag forming. But there are other possible interpretations. This could potentially be a double top too, but I'm not really seeing that as particularly likely at the moment. Okay, let's have a look at currencies. Now, currencies, we haven't quite made the target I was looking for. I was looking for a target at about the 104.7 area. But we do have a potential little double top on DX here, and we do have sell signals fixed on DX daily, and we've got buy signals fixed on the euro, buy signals brewing on GBP. We've got a fair amount of indications that we might see some kind of a reversal here, and it might be a fairly strong one. We'll see. ZB went a bit lower. Nothing really compelling saying this is about to reverse back up, but keeping an open mind. Overall picture, I'm still leaning towards the downside. On CL, we saw a bit of a breakdown at the open yesterday. I was writing about it in my post yesterday on the bigger picture. I've got a possible wedge here. It's not a bad one actually. So I'm watching to see whether it holds this support here. If it breaks through, then it may be. I repeated yesterday that I'm still looking for the triangle target at 63.7, I think 63.57. And at the moment we're less than $4 above that. That would be the triangle target, and in the absence of big news from the Middle East, and at the moment no one's attacking oil facilities in the Middle East, that's still the target I'm expecting to see. NG, I was noting yesterday that we broke up over the triangle resistance on the daily chart. I did say yesterday that obviously we were going to need a bigger retrace than the 2% I was looking at there. We're now actually up to over 5% retracement. It could be that triangle is still in play. We will see how it goes here, but we've got, obviously between, I was talking about on my post yesterday on the big picture that, on the roll between November and December, this went up 50 cents. It'll do the same again between December and January. So I was saying that really to overcome that, for it to stay the same price between October and January, it would need to basically drop into a month. $1.10. It's still possible it might do that, and I would say that January is when the rolls typically peak, and we then face a gently declining market, generally speaking, into April. So we'll see how that goes. But we generally make highs in October or November, and obviously I'm keeping an eye on this. We will see. But I haven't got any negative divergence on the daily chart. On GC, looking for a retest of this high fairly soon. This could be topping action here, but there's nothing compelling suggesting that it is. SI, still broken down from a head and shoulders here. That still hasn't failed. We need, if we get back to 34.5, that will have failed with a target up at a retest of this high here in the 35.2 area. Looking at HG, Still hasn't retested the low. Still thinking we probably need to retest that low to set up a decent looking double bottom if that's the way this is going to go. Nice looking wedge breaking up. It's a fairly classic looking setup at the moment. UUSD. UUSD is trying to reverse back up. Rather messy looking potential inverted head and shoulders here, which I'm watching. GBP USD could well be bottoming out. Possible inverted head and shoulders. Quite a nice one here, which is testing resistance at the moment. USD/JPY has a tendency to go off and do its own thing, but we could be looking at a reversal here. I don't have a decent resistance trend line here, but this could be a rising wedge. USD/CAD, leaning towards the downside a bit, but nothing as clear as on DX. Australian dollar, we're getting positive divergence on Australian dollar, NZ as well. These could be bottoming out, but not much sign of that so far. All right, let's have a look at KC. This looks like... This doesn't look like a bull flag because it is too large, but we're testing the resistance trend line and we could break up in any case. I don't have a decent looking pattern. I don't have a support trend line here of any quality. So SB still looks like a bull flag forming. CC has broken up from this steep falling wedge, and we could be seeing a break back up over the monthly pivot. We will see, but at the moment it's stalled there. It may get no higher. CT, because on cocoa here, this is a very steep declining resistance trend line. A rally which made a less steep resistance trend line would be fairly normal. There's nothing compelling saying this is doing a hard reversal back up. CT, double bottom broke up here. Looks like it's failing. If so, we'd be seeing a retest of this low here in about the 70.1 area. Looking at ZW, still trading a little lower. Nothing compelling to see here. Nice retrace on corn. No current positive divergence on soy. Possible IHS here, but it really wouldn't be pretty. I'm leaning towards seeing a retest of this low here in the 981 area. Looking at lumber, nice looking bull forming, likely breaks up towards a retest of this high. On live cattle, breaking up over the possible double top setup here. I was leaning towards seeing that because this seems to be trailing in the wake in pattern terms of lean hogs, which is already broken up over a similar setup. We shall see. All right, great. Let's have a look at questions, of which we have none. All right, just a quick review on ES. There are some reasons to think this might go a bit lower. I'm looking particularly at this rising support trend line on the SPX chart. Hang on. And wondering whether it will be tested. And I think this looks like a bull flag forming. And if we're going to continue forming the flag, the next obvious target would be a retest of this trend line. And a test of this would be the best trend line here of the flag resistance, which is going to meet it sometime this morning. We could do that. If we break below this, that could open further downside. I am watching possible larger reversal patterns forming now, as I now have one on NDX, and I'm watching to see whether we develop anything which suggests further to the downside. But at the moment, the case of the downside looks weak. We shall see. All right, great. In that case, I think that's a wrap. I'll have everything posted as soon as possible. I'll catch you guys later.